for the last one, that's the data frame. It's as easy as creating our data frame, just like we've been taught. And we have a data frame example that has the name column, which contains a vector of names of students, then their age, then are they eligible to vote. So for the first row, we can select rows, just the same thing as we did with the matrix. That's the first row we're returning now. So it's going to contain records for Aisha, who is 22 years old and she is eligible to vote. That's true. Okay, so now we're looking at another intersection. That's this first row and the third column. So we're still looking at information about the first student. So sorry. Here we're before the comma, so apologies for that. We're looking at the first and the third row. So we are not specific about the column now. So this is what we're doing. So we can still do the same thing for the columns. So since we've returned the first and the third row, we can do the same thing for the column. So we can do this, remove the comma here, and we place it before the C function. So that means we're not particular about any row, but we are returning the entire values for the columns 1 and 3. So that is that. So we have the name column and the votes column. So then we're returning the column here. Okay, that's the first column. So you can see it's returning a vector to us. So, and also this, we remember when we're working with list or data frame, they won't necessarily return the type of their parent object. So if I run this, it's still going to give me that. And the same thing goes if I use the square bracket. So this is the dollar operator, the square bracket operator, and we're calling only the name, and the same thing that we're doing here. So you return a data frame by giving only one value in the square bracket. Okay, so if I run this, what do we get? We get the first column. Okay, so only if we want to consider both the rows and columns, that is when we'll use the comma. So, but you can't do this with a vector because a vector is one-dimensional. So this is also what we can check out. So this would return the same structure as the parent structure for the first one. Remember, only when we're not considering the 2 dimensions. We are not using the comma here. If I put in the comma like this, like so, so we'll get it. That is going to be a what? A vector. So it's not going to return a data frame to us because we're looking at the 2 dimensions and we're kind of subsetting based on that. So that is where the difference is. But if we are using only one index, it's going to return, it's going to be particular about the column. So that is why it's going to return it as a data frame. And that's what we're going to get. So selecting rows and columns. So like we did above, can combine it this way. So we have row 2, then column 3. We are extracting a single value there, which is at the intersection of the second row and the third column. So we can do the same thing that we did here using the dollar operator and the square bracket for this element within that data frame. So we're looking at the column votes and the second row. That's the second value for that. You know, when we do this, let's select this. Control C. So I drop this and I run that. So this is the entire value that corresponds to this first section of this code. So this is using the dollar operator. So it's going to return a vector to us. It's already taking out that property of a data frame. So this is the first thing that we did. Now we have true, false, true, true as the value and it's in a vector format. So now using a single square bracket, we can subset to get the second element of this vector, votes column. So that is what we're trying to do, and that's what's going to give us false. Okay? So the next thing that we want to look at, this second row, but we want to target the first and the third column. So just like we've been doing before, let's just make this fast. But in this instance, we are getting what? A data frame. So we're having two columns and one, the row. We're referencing just one row. So this is more than what we'll look at as a single value. So that's why we're going to have it as a data frame. So the second one is that we're looking at row 2 and 4, then the columns 1 and 3. So that gives us this output still going to be a data frame because it's more than one dimension. It's not a single value. So in the next video, we're going to look at factors and dates. Thank you.